Alright, Justin, so here's, I think should be the last video, and again, if you have any questions, you can try and call me. Tonight I'm gonna probably be going to bed here pretty soon, but tomorrow I'm gonna be at the airport. My flight doesn't leave until 5:20 or so, and then I land about 8 o'clock Denver time, so if you need to chat, shoot me a text, or try and have your mom or somebody give me a call, and we'll see what we can do. So I was looking at the answers for this. I think it was the second PDF page, where we had these square roots. They all kind of matched up. I just wanted to show you she had a couple in a few different forms. So I had these answers in these two forms right here, which is fine. I've seen it in both ways, so either one of these is technically correct. The way she had it was she split these up into two fractions and then reduced these fractions. So she did negative 5 radical 15 over 15. She made that into a fraction and then reduced 5 over 15 and came up with that. And then she made that into the second fraction, reduced 3 over 15 and came up with that. Again, this answer, they mean the exact same thing. They're just two different ways of presenting it. Same thing over here. She took 1/2 and made it one fraction, and then radical 5 over 2 made it another fraction. So again, either one of these is 100% correct. They both mean the same thing. They just look a little different. So I thought you just wanted to point that out. Thought you may have a question there. So then for these last 4 problems here, I just thought we'd kind of go through them. And again, I'm not 100% sure how far she wants you to take them. Actually, before we get into this, since this is the last video, I will take a look and see how far she wants you to go. Okay, so it looks like she wants you to go all the way, and she also wants, let's see, your answer should contain only positive exponents with no fractional exponents in the denominator. But in looking at all her answers, they all have fractional exponents in the denominator, so I don't think that shouldn't be a problem then. Alright, so we're just going to go back to our main rules here, and again, I want you to work on simplifying what's inside the parentheses before you actually worry about what this number up here. So again, we've got u to the negative 3/2, v to the 3/2, u to the negative 2, and v to the 1/3. So we're going to simplify the top, and then once we've simplified the top, we'll bring the bottom into it. So basically what we want to do is take u to the 3/2 and u to the negative 2 and multiply those together. So we get u to the negative 3/2. Now remember, when you multiply exponents, you're adding them. So we're going to add that to the negative 2. And then for v, we've got 3/2, and we're going to add that to 1/3. Alright? So now it's just a matter of simplifying this, and I'll kind of do that off to the side up here. So negative 3/2 plus 2, or plus negative 2 over 1, so we're going to multiply top and bottom by 2, so we get negative 3/2 plus negative 4 over 2, so that gives us u to the 7/2, and negative 7/2 that is, and v, again, we're going to kind of have to do that, so 3/2 plus 1/3, so that's the same as, actually we're going to have to change both of these. So multiply top and bottom by 3, so that becomes 9 over 6, plus top and bottom by 2, so that becomes 2/6, so that's all, v is 11 over 6, and that's all over. Now, let me get my hand out of the way so you can see. So again, we took u to the 3 halves, add that together, so I did that fraction work up here, and came out with negative 7 over 2. Then this one, 3 halves plus 1/3, did that fraction, multiplied top and bottom to get the common denominator, did that fraction work here, and came out with 11 over 6. Now remember, u to the 0, that just becomes 1, so then we've got v to the 3 halves on the bottom. So again, then this is all in parentheses to the 3 halves. So from there, we just need to, I'm going to continue simplifying what's in here. So there's nothing we can do with the u to the negative 7 over 2 at this point. V to the 11 over 6, so again, with these right here, we're going to want to subtract our exponents. So v to the 11 over 6 minus 3 over 2. So that gives us v to the, now multiply top and bottom by 3, so becomes 9 over 6, so 11, 6 minus 9 over 6 gives us v to the 2 over 6, which is the same as v to the 1/3. Finally gave us something that reduced. So that becomes v to the 1/3, and again, so now we took care of this. So again, here's the fraction work for that, and we got v to the 1/3, and then we still have 3 halves up here. So now we just take this and distribute that into here. So 3 times 7 is, so that equals u to the negative 21 over 2 times 2 is 4. And then v 3 times 3, or 3 times 1 is 3. And 2 times 3 is 6. Now because this, so now we're here. So after we distributed, we got this. So then from there, you want to simplify, move the fraction to the bottom. So you get u to the 21, well, not move the fraction to the bottom because it's negative, because it's a negative exponent, so it goes on the bottom. And then this is a positive, but we can actually reduce that, so it becomes v to the 1/2. So then that should be your answer in the end. Again, your teacher has a knack for picking problems that don't really reduce all that nicely. And I'm looking at the answer, and that's exactly what she got. So we're in good shape. The next thing, the next problem, kind of we're going to work it the same way here. Not much we can do with the parentheses in there, so we can't simplify that. So I'm going to leave the top, well, actually, just to save room, we'll go ahead, since there's nothing to simplify in here, I'm going to go ahead and distribute this exponent into both of these. So you get x to the 15th, 3 times 3 is 15, 2 times 3 is 6, y to the 3 times 1 is 3, 2 times 2 is 4. So that's the top. Now the bottom we can simplify a little bit, so let's start matching these up. So x to the 2 over 1 plus 4 over 3, so again she's not really helping us out with some easy fractions to work with. So multiply top and bottom here by 3 to get a common denominator, so we get x to the 6 over 3 plus 4 over 3, so that gives us x to the 10 over 3. Again, she's not really helping us out there, but hey, that's just the way of things, I guess. So then y to the 1/2 minus a negative 2/3, because it's y to the 1/2 and y to the negative 2/3. So that becomes, we also need a common denominator, which again, she's not really helping us out here, so multiply top and bottom by 3, so we get 3/6 plus top and bottom here by 2, 4/6, so y to the 7/6, y to the 7/6. So now we're here after we've simplified, so we simplified the top to that, simplified the bottom to this. Now we just go ahead and divide, so we need to subtract our exponents. So again, 15 over 6, and we'll do that up here, 15 over 6 minus 10 over 3. So we'll need to multiply top and bottom here by 2, so that gives us 20 over 6. So that gives us negative 5 over 6. So x, when we subtracted these, and again subtracted the exponents, these are the exponents here, so 15 over 6 and 10 over 3. So we subtracted that, and we ended up with negative 5 over 6, so x to the negative 5 over 6. And then y, we are going to need to do, we'll do this over here somewhere. Let's find some room. So we got 3/4 minus 7/6. Common denominator, they both go into 12, so we got to multiply that by 3 and 3, this by 2 and 2, so 3 times 3 is 9, 4 times 3 is 12, minus 7 times 2 is 14, 12, so we end up with 9 minus 14, which is negative 5 over 12. So from here, because they're both negative exponents, that just becomes, we make it, flip it, and just make them into fractions, or make the whole thing into a fraction. 5 over 6, y equals 5 over 12. And that should be your answer. Again, I'm going to quickly double check here to make sure we're in agreement, which it looks like there's something a little, did I do the, oh, actually, you know what? I think I see a mistake that I made that was throwing me off. We actually, going back here, so 7 to the 1/2, yeah, here's a silly mistake I made. 7 to the 1/2, y to the 2/3. So right here, I actually should have added them, and I apologize for that. Or it should be adding, so we actually end up subtracting. So that should be y. This should have been to the negative 1/6. So that was my silly mistake. And then down here, so we'd actually be adding these, and this would be a 1. So that's all, that stays the same. That would be a 2. So this would be an 11 over 12, and it would be positive, so it stays y to the 11 over 12. Alright, so small mistake here. So just make sure when you're doing this, because it's y to the 1/2 times negative 2/3, I should have added the negative rather than minus the negative, and so I made a silly mistake there. So maybe you caught it. If you did, great. If not, that's why initially my answer didn't come out quite right, and then when I added it all up over here and reconfigured the calculations, so this would have been a 2, and this would become an 11 over 12. Then we should be good, and it's positive, so it stays on the top. Alright, sorry about that. So then, same thing over here. Again, before you can distribute this in here, because parentheses and exponents, order of operations, we got to distribute that that exponent in, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to leave what's outside the parentheses alone. And then 3 times negative 3, so that becomes a positive 6 over 2, and then b is negative 3 over 6, and we can actually reduce that, which I'm going to go ahead and do. 2 over 3. So 6 over 2 becomes 3. That becomes negative 1/2. Now you can, and again, I'm still only working on the top. I haven't even looked at the bottom here yet. So now we can distribute this b into here. So because that's an a, again, that a is not going to change. But b to the negative 2/3 times b to the 1/2, we are actually going to then add those together. So b to the negative 2/3 plus, make sure I get that right this time, negative 1/2. So off to the side, we'll do our fraction work again, plus negative 1/2. So multiply top and bottom here by 3, top and bottom here by 2, so we get negative 4 over 6 plus negative 3 over 6, which gives us negative 7 over 6. So that b is negative 7 over 6. That's all over. Now we have a to the 1/3 and 5/3, so we're going to multiply that. 5 times 1 is just 5, and then 3 times 3 is 9. So again, not making this easy on us by any way, shape, or form. So once we've simplified all this, we're down to here. Now because we got a to the 3rd and a to the 5/9, we actually need to subtract that. So again, kind of do that over here. So 3 to the 1st minus 5 over 9. So multiply top and bottom by 9. So that's 27 over 9 minus 5 over 9. So that gives us a to the 22nd over 9. So that took care of this part. Now because b is negative, we're just going to move that to the bottom, or the exponent's negative, so we're just going to move that to the bottom. And that should be your answer. And again, I'm going to double check. It's getting late, so I'm starting to prone to mistakes, but actually this should still be positive. Now, since we moved it down, it should be positive. And it looks like we are right, so that's good. Alright, let's see what fraction she has in store for us over here. Okay, so here, again, top, just distribute this through. So it becomes x to the negative 5 over 4 times 4 is 16. Y becomes negative 5 over 12. So the bottom, we'll go ahead and simplify that. X to the 2nd times x to the 4th. We're going to add those, so that becomes x to the 6th. And then y to the 0, that automatically becomes 1, so we're going to leave that y to the 1/2 down there. Alright, so, holy cow, she's definitely not making this easy on us with these fractions. So we need to subtract these, so that's saying x to the negative 5 over 6 minus 6. And then we're going to do y to the negative 5 1/2. And need to find a calculator for that. Let's see. Calculator. So 6 times 16 equals 96. So we end up with negative 5 minus 96 over 16, which is negative 101 over 16. So that means this x right here becomes x to the negative 101 over 16. Now we gotta simplify that. So we gotta multiply top and bottom by 12, which is actually a little easier. So negative 5 over 12 minus negative 5 over 12 minus 12 over 24. So that gives us negative 17 over, actually we want to make this a 6. We want to multiply top and bottom by 12. So we want to multiply top and bottom by 6. So that's not going to work. Yeah, it's definitely getting late. So negative 5 over 12 minus 6 over 12. So that gives us negative 11 over 12. So y to the negative 11 over 12. So again, because they are both negative, we want to move them to the bottom, so it becomes 1 over x to the 101 over 16, y to the 11 over 12. Double check that, and she agrees. And that is your answer. So, I mean, if you can get these are not easy problems. Things don't cancel out very easily. You've got a lot of this extra fraction work. I guess that's what puts the honors in the algebra 2 here. But try and go through them. Again, I apologize for my mistake on number 12. Hopefully, going back through it makes sense. But again, if you have any more questions or any specific ones, feel free to try and call me. My flight leaves at 5, so anytime after between 3 and 5, and then if you really need to chat, shoot me a text, and I'll try and give you a call or an email before you land. Or again, you can reach me by email anytime tomorrow. So I hope you're feeling better. Good luck. Sorry it took me so long to get these to you, but your teacher definitely made these problems not very easy. So hopefully things are going well, and I think I hear my little one crying, so I gotta go take care of him. Have a good night.